a message of compassion shared by many in the world today, including Chicago-born, Villanova-educated Pope Leo XIV.
Chi ha il potere di scatenare guerre.
Let those who have the power to unleash wars choose peace. Not a peace imposed by force, but through dialogue.
Look who became Pope and suddenly became too good for English. Oh. But still, a beautiful, compassionate message that I cannot imagine anyone, really, anyone, I can't think of it. It does not come into my brain that anyone in the world hearing the Pope's message of peace will have some kind of a weird problem with it.
Overnight, President Trump lashing out at Pope Leo on Truth Social, calling the first American Pope weak and a loser.
I am really starting to sour on this president. What is going through Trump's mind? What did the Pope say? He wants what? Dialogue? Peace? He wants to choose the noblest aspirations of mankind to show humanity at its greatest articulation? That loser! That guy's a loser! That guy. Who died and made him? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's who died? Okay. Oh, really? There was a vote. White smoke. Interesting. Okay. Fair enough. Interesting. Hold on. Yeah. I'm going to have to call you back. Okay. President Trump, I know the Vatican's been critical of your policies, but you got to remember that at the end of the day, you and the Catholic Church both historically care deeply about the same thing, covering up sex scandals. You both... By the way, Trump's comments about the Pope upset a lot of people of Christian faith. But please don't worry. It gets worse.
In a separate social media message, the president shared an image of himself in a religious scene that appears to depict Trump as Jesus.
Oh, my God. Wait, the guy in the bed, can I just... Are you... I know I don't have the vigor and spunk of my MTV days, but I didn't know we were here already. I didn't realize my look had reached leper territory. I mean, from the picture, it looks like it was touch and go with me for a while. But thank God, in my time of need, I was surrounded by family. There's my darling wife, Amy Lynn, hands clasped in prayer. My brother, Sergeant Chiseljaw. Oh, look in the back, there's Pappy Joe. He and I stormed the Capitol together, me and Pappy Joe. And up at the top there's the eagle that delivers my mail, and apparently the lead singer of Guar is in the middle of there. If you look at just the bottom there, it looks like there's just a guy's hand. Not mine, just some other guy's hand. Seems to be taking advantage of my infirmity to touch my penis. I don't know why. This is freaking me the out. Meanwhile, the whole thing happening outside the watchful eye of daytime fireworks. You know, I'm just glad that Jesus Trump brought his healing orb. By the way, can I tell you my favorite thing about this picture? I like how there's only so much AI can do. Like, AI is like, look, I can give you the fireworks and the healing powers, and I can make you Jesus, but you weigh what you weigh. Sorry. It just is what it is. Listen, I plugged in all the shit. Give me the flag, make me Jesus, do the Eagles. And then he was like, and make me 185. And I'm like, can't do it. You're gonna have to be fat, Jesus. Sorry, Chubbs. That's me entering the program. Now, apparently, not everyone in the Christian community took too kindly to Trump portraying himself this way. And the backlash was bad enough that Trump was forced to come up with his own incredibly plausible cover story.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor.
That's you as a doctor. Oh, I'm sorry. What's this? Urgent care? Is that an urgent care? Is that what that is? Why don't you own it, you big puss bag? You put yourself out there as Jesus. You got fucking called on it, and now you're like, God, do you even care about lying to us anymore? Is it over? Is this relationship gone stale? Your lies used to have a real spark. They're eating the cats and dogs. Venezuela stole the 2020 election. And now the best you've got is, oh, no, it wasn't Jesus. I'm a doctor. You need to find your happy place and fast. We expect better lies, sir. And can I just remind you, Mr. President, we're in the middle of a grinding war with Iran. Can you just address that in a straightforward way with the American people without all this other weird shit going on? Can you just do that once?
I don't think it gets much more hostile than Iran. They're capable fighters. They're very tough people. And there are others like that. You don't mind when the enemy is weak, but that enemy is strong.
You guys see the rabbit too, right? You see it. Oh, thank God. I'm so glad they see it. You know, clearly I've been on a lot of leprosy meds, so a lot of hallucinations and shit. By the way, the surreal image of the president running through his cavalcade of grievances next to the Easter Bunny was not exclusive to the balcony. Poor Peter Cottontail had to listen to this bullshit all day.
We've broken every record on the stock market. We've broken every record in our military. And we are the most respected country anywhere in the world with the greatest military. Mr. Jameson Greer, have you heard of him? He's right here. Come on over here, James. How are we doing on trade? It's a big country. They can't fight back. They have no capability. NATO should be ashamed of themselves. This is about eggs. Eggs.
I'm sorry. That's insane. I can't help but think that if Jesus came back to see the White House Easter event, he'd be like, I think you may have misunderstood my message. At one point, the shit with the Easter Bunny got so bad, you're not sure if it was an episode of The Office.
Did anybody in the egg industry vote for Kamala? A low IQ person. She's a low IQ person.
In the middle of it, the Easter Bunny does one of these. He landed it, and his eyes don't move.
The fate of the U.S. Iran war is hanging in the balance.
The collective world holding its breath.
Highest stakes talks between the U.S. and Iran in many years.
In the balance, the lives of millions of people across the Middle East and the fate of the global economy.
My God. These negotiations couldn't be more critical. We're going to need everybody. Bunny, pack your eggs. We're going to Pakistan. But what luck for the United States, because what Iran might not realize is our president is the greatest negotiator in the history of his book. We are talking about this year's recipient of the FIFA Peace Prize and some f***ing gold thing from Apple. And they don't just give those to anyone. I had the inflection wrong. They don't give those to anyone. I would have loved to see those Iran negotiators' faces when the formidable negotiator-in-chief, Donald Jehoshaphat Trump, entered those talks on Saturday in Islamabad. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it because, I shit you not, he went to a UFC fight with Dana White. Now, before you criticize the President of the United States for attending a UFC fight around the same time that America and Iran are locked in high-stakes negotiations in Islamabad, you do have to understand, he had fantastic seats. Like super close, like uncomfortably weird and close.
You're a beautiful guy. Great fighter. Thanks for giving you a hug. You look so good. You're too good looking to be a fighter. You are some fighter. Thank you, man.
Hey, one last thing. You wouldn't mind trying on a bunny suit, would you? Now let's see where those eggs come out of. Come on. I don't really understand Easter. All right. But it, it's fine. The president didn't need to be in Islamabad. I'm sure he can delegate some of the heavy lifting to his accomplished Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, who, is also at the fight? Come on! And by the way, what in the pit bull are those hand signals? No disrespect to Marco repping the 305, but if Trump isn't in Islamabad and Marco Rubio isn't in Islamabad, who exactly is in Islamabad handling these extremely delicate negotiations?
Hey guys, good morning. Thanks for coming.
No! Jane Dolores Vance? You? World peace depends on chubby face Muldoon? I'm telling you, man, it's all starting to fall apart in MAGA world. The whole thing's spread too thin. Even Trump's overseas allies are in trouble.
Viktor Orban, one of President Trump's closest allies in Europe, is facing his toughest challenge as he tries to win a fifth term as prime minister.
Well, no, that shouldn't be a problem. We all know Trump is the endorser-in-chief. He shows up to a rally. Almost inevitably, that person gets elected. Is Trump going to head to Hungary to prop up his boy Orban? I mean, who else could you send?
Hey, guys. Good morning.
No! Yes, apparently, a couple of days before J.D. Vance shit the bed in Islamabad, he took a practice crap in Budapest.
J.D. Vance treated the crowd to a phone call live from Donald Trump. Here's how it all played out.
I actually had a special guest that asked that I give him a phone call, and we'll see. Let's hope he actually answers. So this is going to be very embarrassing. All right.
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
Okay.
Wow. J.D. Vance has the same relationship with President Trump that we have with Comcast customer service. That's incredible. Can I tell you my favorite part of the whole thing? Was the sort of Vegas magician part at the beginning with the phone. Hey, I've got a special friend. But JD, you flew all the way over there. Give her another go.
Okay. Try one more time. I get a good signal here. It's ringing. It's progress. Mr. President, You are on with about 5,000 Hungarian patriots, and I think they love you even more than they love Viktor Orban.
Oh my God, you ass-kissing, cytoplasmic, blah, 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 what I said earlier. God. But you know what? I'm sure that by pulling out the big guns, having Donald Trump and J.D. Vance throw all of the American power behind Viktor Orban is sure to pay dividends.
Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban was voted out of power in a massive landslide.
And scene! Please, God, let the dam be breaking. Folks, this has been a truly shit year, as we have all been at the mercy of the mercurial whims of a megalomaniacal man-baby. And we are tired. The presidency is supposed to age the president, not the people. But I'm telling you, there is hope. The air of Donald Trump's invincibility is being slowly eroded by world events and his own heart's ability to clear liquid from his capillaries. That's why bunches at the bottom. But we cannot give in to the sadness. We must embrace these moments of light and hope and oxygen. Even MAGA is beginning to realize the depths of this man's depravity, no matter how much we love the person he's healing. And I do appreciate it. And to the dismay of Donald Trump and his acolytes, an illiberal autocrat who controlled the media, stacked the judiciary, and manipulated the electoral process of his country has been crushed. Because the people of Hungary stood up and said, F*** this.
Greg Phillips, the head of FEMA's Office of Response and Recovery. Now, in a normal administration, we would go the entire presidency without ever knowing who's the head of FEMA's Office of Response and Recovery. But, you know, this is Trump. So instead, we get shit like this.
Greg Phillips, he was on a podcast in January of last year, during which he claimed more than once that he's teleported, including one time to a Waffle House.
Okay, wait, hang on, everybody, wait. Just time out in America. Give me a timeout here. This dude teleported to Waffle House? Okay, look. He must be joking, right? You know, like when you tell everyone that you're Jesus, it's just a joke.
I was with my boys one time, and I was telling I was going to go to Waffle House and get Waffle House. And I ended up at a Waffle House. This is in Georgia. And I ended up at a Waffle House like 50 miles away from where I was.
You have the power of teleportation, but you use it to go to Waffle House? I mean, that's like if you invented time travel and instead of going back in time to kill Hitler, you went back in time to kill the cashier at Waffle House. Surely there was another place you teleported to besides Waffle House.
I was on the phone. Oh my God, what's happening? And I was landed, and landed about 40 miles away in a ditch outside of a Baptist church.
It's amazing. Teleport to Waffle House, a ditch. This guy teleports to all the exact places you end up when you're blackout drunk. How? That's just incredible. I mean, Tiger Woods is like, yeah, that happened to me too. Yeah. Yeah, I just teleported into an upside down car and... Here's how crazy this story is. Even Donald Trump heard it and was like, this is crazy.
So CNN's Andrew Kaczynski called the president to ask about all this. The president's first response was, quote, was he kidding? When Andrews said, no, the president said this, quote, I don't know anything about teleporting. It just sounds a little strange, but I know nothing about teleporting or him, but I'll find out about it right now.
Yeah, the president is on it. Trump's going to find out about it right now. Because if there's a way to bend the laws of the universe to get waffles quickly, Trump will find it. Now, you're probably thinking it would be incredibly irresponsible to allow this guy to keep working at FEMA. Well, call M. Night Shyamalan, because here comes a twist that doesn't make any sense at all.
Despite all of this, multiple FEMA officials told us that his performance had eased some of their concerns about his lack of experience. One official even described him as FEMA's best hope, saying they couldn't believe that they were actually saying that.
Look, of course they like him at work, all right? He can go on a waffle run in seconds. But that tells you all you need to know about the Trump administration, okay? The Waffle House teleportation guy might be the most competent person in FEMA right now.
In my campaign for president, I pledged to give America the most spectacular birthday party the world has ever seen for America's 250th anniversary.
Okay. Sure, Trump. Plan the party. It's not like you have anything else going on. Gas prices are hovering just below Fury Road levels, but have fun picking out the balloons. Hang on, perhaps I am rushing to judgment. We can only hope Trump puts as much love into America's birthday as he would for Jeffrey Epstein's. I abhor the message, but I do appreciate a handwritten card. Any asshole can go to Hallmark, but calligraphy shows you care. So how is the president going to show us he cares about America?
For the first time in American history, the signature of a sitting president will soon be featured on U.S. currency. The Treasury announcing the decision to celebrate the nation's 250th birthday this summer, saying President Trump's signature is not only appropriate, but also well-deserved.
Signing the dollar bills? But, Mr. President, how can you sign them all? For that, you would need an auto pen. Fine, he can sign the money. At least it's just a signature and not his face.
President Trump's face could soon be on U.S. money. A commission handpicked by Trump himself has approved the design for 24-karat gold coin to commemorate America's 250th birthday.
I'm not sure about that coin, but I'm really not sure about that pose. He looks like he's trying to pinch one out at a standing toilet.
Recent polls show that young Republicans are starting to turn on Trump, especially over the war with Iran. But Donald Trump is not worried because he's got the one guy who has the riz to Trump Max Gen Z again. I'm talking about Vice President J.D. Vance. Yesterday, he went to a TPUSA event, and just look at the packed crowd that came out to see him. Oh my God, have you ever seen such a handful of people? It's very nice of Turning Point to institute COVID rules 6 years too late. But J.D. Vance managed to inspire the crowd with his stirring message of, please don't leave me.
I recognize that a lot of young voters don't love the policy that we have in the Middle East. Okay, I understand that. What I'm saying is don't get disengaged because you disagree with the administration on one topic. Get more involved. Make your voice heard even more. That's how we ultimately take the country back.
Yeah, that's right, JD. It's time to take the country back from yourself? Like, what are you talking about? Taking back from what? Republicans have everything. Republicans control the Congress, the White House, the Supreme Court, old media, social media. You even took a Kennedy. I mean, you can keep him, but you still took him. At this point... You're fighting the establishment. You are the establishment, buddy. At this point, liberals are like, all we have left is blue sky, and we hate that. But young conservatives aren't just mad at Trump because of the war. They're also mad about the thing he started the war to distract us from. The Epstein files. Yeah, remember that? Yeah. Well, you know what? The streets still have questions. But J.D. Vance tried to bail Trump out of that one, too.
When Donald Trump says, when the president says this is a hoax, he's not saying it's a hoax that Epstein was the scumbag. He's saying this democratic idea that somehow he was Epstein's best friend. Jeffrey Epstein hated Donald Trump. And Donald Trump hated Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah. Trump and Epstein always hated each other. We all remember that famous video of them.
Everyone here is my friend. Except you. I hate you.
I hate you too.
You're a sick pervert. I hate you so much. Go, leave, kill yourself.
Case closed. But the big issue J.D. Vance had to address was Donald Trump's week-long beef with the Pope, which is a completely normal sentence in 2026. You see, the Pope's position is that peace is good, and Donald Trump's position is that he is Jesus Christ. So J.D. Vance had to go out there in front of literally dozens of people and try to argue that the Pope was wrong and AI Jesus was right.
The Pope's job is to preach the gospel. When the Pope says that God is never on the side of those who wield the sword, there is more than a 1,000-year tradition of just war theory. Was God on the side of the Americans who liberated France from the Nazis? I think it's very, very important for the Pope to be careful when he talks about matters of theology.
Yeah. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! He's right. You gotta be careful when you talk about theology. Pope. Let me remind you guys that what the Pope basically said was, war is bad. That's not controversial, all right? It's literally the Pope's job to say things like that. That's like if Miss America wished for world peace and J.D. Vance burst on stage and was like, oh yeah? Even with Hitler? Stay in your lane, bitch. This is what I don't get about guys like J.D. Vance, okay? How come you have no problem when the Pope weighs in on abortion policy, but when he weighs in on your foreign policy, you freak out? I mean, wasn't assassinating the Ayatollah just a very, very, very late-term abortion? I mean, the man was in his 250th trimester, right? But fine, the Pope said his thing, J.D. Vance said his thing, and let's just put this thing to bed, okay? No more Jesus stuff.
President Trump just posted or reposted on his social media site a new image. The one today is him with Jesus. I think we have this here.
Great, that'll calm things down. Nothing will ease religious tensions like posting an image of Jesus giving you a handjob. For most of the world, this war cannot end soon enough. And today, we got an update from Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense and worst part of every Hooters waitress's day. He came out. Hooters. He came out at a press conference this morning, and you can tell he's laser focused on defeating Iran.
A note to the press corps, to the American media. As I just can't help but notice the endless stream of garbage, the relentlessly negative coverage.
Okay, right. Well, no, obviously he has to defeat the American media first, but then Iran.
In the press, you only seek the negative, earning each and every day the fake news label.
Okay, I get it. We suck, fine. Okay, but what about the Hormuz?
Sometimes it's hard to figure out what side some of you are actually on. It's incredibly unpatriotic. Where's the coverage of the new spirit in the country?
Yeah, you stupid fake news media. Show some headlines about spirit in America. Like how about Spirit Airlines may have to liquidate due to rising fuel prices?